The metric system. I'm sure almost everyone here probably knows what that is. You know, the one system with meters, liters, grams, and all those other fun measurements. You also probably remember all those painful conversions between our system and the metric system throughout math and science classes. This has most likely made you view the metric system with a sort of animosity. But what if I told you it was our system that was to blame? Most everyone has heard of the metric system, but very few know what I'm talking about when I say imperial system, which is our own system. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, the imperial system was invented in Britain in the 15th century, so measurements would be specifically defined. All of the measurements were based off the body or other common household items so that people would have a general idea of the measurement for that particular item. But because the items chosen to represent the measurements varied drastically from each other, an incredibly inconsistent form of measurement had been created, the imperial system. There are 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, and 1760 yards in a mile. Along with having really no pattern between the units, the imperial system also boasts an excessive amount of units themselves. The names in obscurity are almost comical. Even if we don't use some of these units, they're still making the system disorganized. But if we take a jump over to the metric system, we have 10 millimeters in a centimeter, 100 centimeters in a meter, and 1,000 meters in a kilometer. The metric system has far less units, and they all vary by 10. In comparison, the imperial system looks like a jumbled mess rather than having the clean and coherent pattern of the metric system. And guess what? The British agreed. They have since completely abandoned their own system that they created in favor of the metric system. But America still uses this convoluted system that was destroyed even by its own creators. And for what purpose? Because we're used to it? We are literally one of the 3 countries in the world that don't use metric. Our country could have a better role in the world so long as it makes one switch to metric. You may not think juggling 2 systems is a big deal, but it can present major problems. According to PBS, NASA lost $125 million when their Mars orbiter crashed to the planet because different components of the ship were made using the different systems. See, it presents all sorts of problems to industries financially and mechanically. I'm not saying the switch from imperial to metric will be easy, but in the long run, it presents a vast amount of possibilities. Think of what we could achieve with the world unified on this. It's past time that we stepped out of our comfort zone and embraced the future.